When times get slow, desperate loan officers think about getting duly licensed. I understand the idea, but it will destroy your business. Let's talk about it. I'm Nick Carpenter. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Appreciate you for being here. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button and the bell so you can get notified every time I put out new content. Today we're talking about a concept that comes up pretty frequently, especially when I'm talking with new loan officers or when the market is tough and there's not as many deals and people are looking for other ways to make income, and that's to get dual licensed as a loan officer and as a realtor. So in this case, obviously, I'm talking to lenders who are going to go get their realtor license, right? So I understand the appeal of that, where you can make referral fees or even keep some of the deals for yourself. But that's exactly the problem, right? Is that number one is if you go get dually licensed and realtors know that, it will erode your trust, okay? Because how do they know that you're not going to be able to, you're not going to steal deals, or, you're not going to, because at the end of the day, if you're dually licensed, you can give the best deals, right? You can give the best discounts, the best breaks. You can be giving people back, refunds back on commissions and things like that. And if a realtor is only making the realtor commission, they can't do that, right? You can only do that as a dually licensed person, where you can basically, not make as much money on one or the other, or on both, make less because you're making more overall because of being dually licensed, right? But that's exactly the point is, why would a realtor want to refer you over if they know that that's a possibility, right? That you might steal the deals. So it's definitely something to think about. The other thing is, how do they know that you're not cherry picking, right? Say, for example, you guys go run a campaign together. The realtor gives you $100, $200 to go run leads. How do they know that you're not cherry picking some of the best deals just for yourself? And then referring everything else out, right? There's always going to be that question, that what if question in the back of their mind. And I just don't know that it's worth it, can you make more money per deal? Yeah, of course, right? But also now you've got to put on your loan officer hat and you've got to put on your realtor hat, which those things are very, very different, right? Going out and showing houses and dealing with the contracts and all that is very different from doing the mortgage side of things. It doesn't mean you can't do both. You're not capable. I'm only suggesting that you shouldn't, because of the negative impact it could have on your business, right? Ask yourself this. If realtors started going getting dually licensed where they can do the mortgage, are you going to be confident referring those realtors, your clients, to those realtors? I mean, because what happens if they do try to offer a better mortgage deal or something like that, I think it starts just raising questions, and it kind of, again, like to my first point, it erodes the trust. And, trust in a relationship is everything, especially when it comes to these kind of, multi-$100,000, $1 million deals that we're doing as loan officers and realtors. Do you really want to risk them to stop sending you all the business they're already sending you, in exchange for whatever you can do with your real estate license? I don't know what your point would be to do with the license. In most cases, people tell me that they want to make referral fees. So it's like they want to generate leads, do the loan, refer the deal to a realtor, and ask for a referral fee on the back end, and that's fine if you want to do that, but then it becomes a money-based relationship, right? And so if that's the case, money is gonna always run the relationship. If that's oftentimes how it starts is how it ends, right? So if it starts with money, it's gonna end about money. And do you really want to get into that? So there's only one example that I have where if you're thinking about getting your real estate license, it can actually work for you. And that would be if you're an investor and you just want to be able to do your own investment deals. You're never going to work with a buyer or a seller. You're never going to help somebody else in real estate. You're getting licensed only to help yourself and to be able to go out and get investment properties and use the real estate commission to help towards the closing costs by just doing that whole piece yourself. So that would be the one example that I have seen where it won't negatively impact your business, because most people can understand that an investor would want to go get their license, right? But if you're talking about any possibility of helping anybody buy or sell a house in addition to being the loan officer, that's where it's going to be really tough to go build a business with realtors using real estate agents and hoping that they refer you, while also having your own license and doing your own real estate deals with clients. So I don't think that's going to work. I'm interested in what you think. Let me know down in the comments. I mean, are you dually licensed? How does that work for you? How is it impacting you? Or is this something that you've thought about? And so anyways, appreciate you for being here. Just something that came up, recently, and I think it's worth having a discussion around, is just this whole like dual license thing, and can you make more money, or will it actually destroy your mortgage business, which is, I think the latter is far more likely. All right, make sure if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button, and I'll see you on the next video. Later.